The cost of living crisis continues to bite. And this is data from the UK's largest survey of businesses, the British Chamber of Commerce, looking back over the past quarter. Now, if we take a look at domestic sales, you can see here this red bar at the bottom. This is the number of businesses who say that their sales have decreased in the past quarter. It's gone up to nearly a quarter. As you can see, it's been rising fairly steadily over the past 2 years. But in particular, if you look up at that blue bar, that's the number of businesses who show that their sales have increased, and that's dropped quite substantially to just a third compared to 41% in the last quarter. Now, if we look ahead to how businesses are feeling about their profitability over the next year, this is also a fairly dismal picture. So 39% of businesses now say that they believe their profits are going to go down next year, compared to around a third who believe they'll go up. And so if you look at this aggregate data here, curve, it's going down. It's now going into the negative. And as you can see, it's really nosediving quite dramatically, heading down on its way, not as bad as we saw in the worst of the COVID lockdown in 2020. And also, of course, if you look back to 2008, we've still got some way to go before we get that serious. But obviously, not a good picture about how positive businesses are feeling there. Now, if we also take another look at the percentage of firms who say they're likely to have to increase their prices over the next year, of course, this is a real indicator of how inflation is going to continue to increase for some time yet. We can see that although it's not quite as high as the last quarter, it's only notched down a very little bit, so prices set to go up. Now, it's important to say that this survey was done before the government announced their package of support for businesses in terms of energy, help and the mini budget, of course. But yesterday we had more gloomy news from the National Grid, projecting the possibility, unlikely, but a possibility that we might have to see 3 hourly blackouts to deal with problems with energy supply, which of course is an absolute blow to the heart of many businesses. Downing Street have been adamant previously that they're not going to introduce rationing or tell people to cut their consumption. Well, yesterday that's something that Liz Truss wouldn't repeat, and there are calls by many experts for the government to be doing more to make people use less.